don't have to tell anything now because we have been here doing it. Okay, guys, my fourth podcast guest is no other than the infamous Among His Friends. I don't even know what this is. It's Rob Potter. Yay. So Rob has been helping me emotionally for years. So I'm just kidding. Rob has been, I reached out to you a long time ago, right? When I bought the camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, help me. And you were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I gave
and even before that, I think I reached out and was like, I think I'm going to be doing something. And you were like, yeah, sure. And then finally September came and I was like, I think I'm actually ready for help now.
Yeah, I remember you send me stuff of like, what should I get or what should I do? And I was like, here's a list of this, get this. And then it was a few months and then I was like, I'm also thinking about getting this. I'm like, you should get that.
Yeah,
you get this and you get this.
Yeah. And I got this. Is this the one I should get? And then it happened really quickly though as well, didn't it? Like from me being like, will you come over and help me, to all of a sudden being like, okay, we're going to shoot an episode and now it's a podcast.
Yeah, but like from the first episode, I wasn't sure if this was going to be a one-off job for me or a continuation. Like I thought maybe it'd be like testing and seeing like, oh, I might, in 3 months' time, I might come back to this. But then it was so well done from the get-go in terms of, people I've worked with before who want to do it but don't have an interest in the technical side of it. Mm-hmm. And they just want to be on camera or they want to say something. Mm-hmm. They don't want to record it, but they don't actually want any of the hassle of dealing with nice lights, cameras.
Yeah, or their sitting room being turned into a weird makeshift podcast studio. But to be honest, I was talking to my friend Mariana the other day and she was like, you've always wanted people to see where you live. She was like, you've always, because when I designed the apartment, I was like, I'm so fucking good at this, but I'm such a, I'm an extrovert, but I'm an introvert. I do not like to go out and I don't like to see people unnecessarily, but I love to work with people. So if I see people in a work capacity, it like hits my socializing button while it also doesn't feel like time wasting. So it's like the perfect type of socializing for me is work type.
Yeah.
So I designed my apartment and I wanted to host because I was like, look how beautiful this space is.
It makes sense.
I don't want people to just come over just to talk about fucking nothing. So now I'm like,
what you've described there makes sense though, of you bringing people into your space rather than you leaving yours to go to someone else. Yeah. It makes more sense that you're like, I'd rather be in my own space, make it nice, have people over. It's still your space. Yeah. And when they leave, you can just chill.
And it's also a perfect kind of podcast space because it's open plan kitchen and like it's a big room. Yeah. I have a big TV, which is not coincidental. Like I'm just, like it worked out perfectly. And then it's in a good location as well, like Bob Regan's idea. But also we have kids. Like if I had to leave and go somewhere else.
You can see the bags in the bars right now of
you look like a nice dad in your Gansey. I was slagging Rob before we came on about his Gansey, but it looks perfect.
I told you it would look good, You were already like, bring your Gansey.
I just think boys in those times, remember, I always just think communion and confirmation because I think it was like the first time I ever saw my brothers kind of,
Yeah. I feel the same about like my friends.
Yeah.
If they're anyway dressed up, I'm like, aw.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah, it's like your little.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's like when a mom dresses a boy over something and you're like, oh, you like even when my dad came.
Yeah.
I had the exact same reaction to you and he's an older man. I was like, oh, look, your Gansey.
I have friends who have opened up businesses and like when they're like they've opened up like a cafe and I go in and I go, oh, look at him. Yeah. He's a little businessman. Yeah, and it's just like because I know him and it's weird. Like,
like a sim or something. I'm like, look at you, we're living your life.
We were drinking for 10 years doing nothing, and now you're a little businessman.
Yeah.
It's like dress up because I don't recognize them as
interesting.
Doing things.
I used to think that when I would go to festival lads and they'd just be fucking flat out all the time, like doing copies, and especially young professionals would do some of the craziest drugs. And the fact that you're like, you have to go into an office and wear a suit, like.
But that's like those are the types of people that go the wildest at the festivals. They need it.
There's a cocaine epidemic.
Oh, it's massive.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like.
When we were growing up, nobody did cocaine until you were like 25, 26.
Yeah.
And now 18-year-olds are doing cocaine. And one of my friends said to me, she said that it's because people don't want to look ugly on social media anymore. Yeah. Like we had Bebo where there was like 160 photos uploaded to an album. Yeah. So like if you looked rotten in 10, it was kind of like it just fell into the mix. Whereas now people are posting everything so much that people are like, right, if I do cocaine, I'm not going to be like girding like I'm on a yoke.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Well, it's mad though, so because if you don't do coke or you don't know anyone or have friends that do coke, if you're in a pub, you won't notice. It's not on your radar. And then once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. Of seeing people taking extra trips to the bathroom that you obviously don't need to take, or certain people just like, you can spot a dealer if you've seen one before.
Yeah. The neck tattoos sometimes speak for themselves.
Yeah. It's like, I was there like, only when you've seen one before can you notice that there's like a clearly obvious, like, I got a big sign saying like, seller.
Yeah, bless their hearts though. Yeah, it's crazy. But even when I was, because I've done a lot, and like when I was, not cocaine, but I've done a lot of drugs and I love them. But like when I was coming up, it was always like, how fucked up can we get in random ways? It wasn't like, how can I maintain the perception of having it together? Do you know what I mean? It was almost like, give me more, I'm not off me head enough. Like, there was this weird, like, you give me more until I visibly look fucked up. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
Like, there was almost, I remember the very first time I did a yoke with my friends, and we were so excited that we were fucked up. Like, I was like, your eyes look so dark and you're gurning. Like, it was like, now we've made it.
You've made it?
Now we've made it as in we've done it. You know what I mean? Like we've done drugs now, you know?
Yeah, we've officially
we're officially over that line.
Popped your cherry in terms of drugs.
Yeah.
You're like, this is
great
now.
And even still, it's like the more, and the people do more and more cocaine, but cocaine has like a weird element of like the perception from other people is that you're on nothing.
But like, I hate cocaine as a drug because I've seen what it turns people into.
Yeah, people are so annoying.
And like, I mean, beyond annoying, like I've had friends that like have properly become addicted to it, who I've helped get off of it. Now, not like I've been like, around their house every day making but like
I'm staging an intervention.
Yeah, like I haven't staged interventions.
It's just me.
But like I've had a few friends who we've gone out, we've had like one or two drinks, and they go, right, we need to get a bag. I'm going, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
And they go, oh yeah, my dealer lives around the corner. And I've stopped them that night from getting it.
Yeah.
And I've said, look, you've survived the night now not getting a bag and you're fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I still want the bag.
They're like, never coming out with you again.
I got less calls then.
Rob is boring now. No.
Rob's a little of a narky night.
Yeah.
Well, like if it's like, you're at a gig or whatever and someone's got a bag, I'm like, you do you, whatever, right? It's a weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the point where it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's not like a luxury of like, it's of like every time I go out, no matter what.
Yeah, because there was guys I know, and they would go thirds, and then when it's over, it's over. And I'm like, that's a semi-healthy coke habit you've got there. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of, like, it's kind of okay. Like, when your team plays, maybe,
It's still funny justifying.
Like, I know, but there is, it's a grey area. It's a grey area.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, because I'm not anti-drug by any means, so I'm not anti-cocaine, but I'm definitely anti the normalization of cocaine on it, like you said, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I think like if you don't do it and then you do it once a month, like I wouldn't be like, you should never do it. I'd be like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, no,
that's like a fair relationship to the drug.
If someone does it once a month, I would kind of be like, watch yourself that it doesn't progress from there.
Yeah.
But if you stay there, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But even still, I think even once a month, I'd be like,
Oh, would you?
Yeah, a little bit for coke.
What if your wife now? Can we say her name or does she want to stay incognito?
No, you can say MK.
MK, if she went out with her mates and then went out on the bag.
Oh, like that would never happen.
But if it did.
If it did happen, I would
be like, where's my wife gone and who's this person?
Yeah, I'd be, because she's a nurse. She has seen the worst effects of most drugs.
Yeah, but still.
That she's like completely.
Maybe nurses more, because I did hear about my cousin had a friend who was shagging a guard and he had evidence bags in his room empty. I know. So like they've seen the worst as well and still go after it. But yeah, I think nurses are probably a little bit more cautious health-wise.
If you've like she's seen people in their 20s die of a heart attack from just coke abuse.
So sad.
And if you see that is obviously the extreme version of like going wrong. But if you see that, you can't then not have those things together in terms of like. That's her association with cocaine. So she's like, I have taken it a number of times in the past. Not for me.
Not for me either.
Not for me. It's and I probably haven't taken it in like 6-7 years.
I took it last year, and it was so embarrassing. I was with a friend, and it was just me and him. And then I, honest to God, was so unhinged. Like the things I was saying to him was so inappropriate. Like not in a weird way, but like I was just so up myself, and I already have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, you were.
So I was like, I think I might be God. You know, I think I might be the big guy.
I'm levitating right now. I don't know if you know.
I was so my own nerves, and then the next day I was like, oh my God, just forget it. But it happened, and I can never scrub it from our history. And I think I also told him an intimate personal story about myself that I would never tell people usually.
Yeah.
And I don't even know was listening. if he was listening to the fact that
But
I
this is
told
it,
him.
though. People who are already kind of like a high personality,
Yeah.
I mean, like an energy, like you downers suit them because it's an escape from that. Whereas all the introverts or people who don't like themselves, coke is an escape from that.
It's
So,
like limitless.
and like I look at certain people who are like, should I try this drug? And I see that they're like already like bouncing off the walls. I'm like, don't take it over.
Yeah.
You don't need it. Take
Yeah.
it down so you get a break from.
Yeah,
being,
100%.
you know.
Ketamine was my favourite and weed. And then I also want to, I think I'll always like microdose acid and I think I'll always do mushrooms. I think psychedelics are
Yeah, like
my-
mushrooms and acid, I think like that's a big thing now as well. It's very popular.
I hope so. The youngsters, I hope they start taking way more mushrooms than they do.
You're
Okay.
encouraging drugs.
Listen, I'm going to run.
I know, I
Yes.
figured out that like I'm a lightweight when it comes to drugs. And then I figured out that my whole family is.
What are you going to do about, oh my god, your daughter's name has left my brain.
That's okay.
No, it's because we're on the air.
Yeah, and there's like cameras. Your daughter's name, Timothy, is it? No, Molly.
Molly! Oh, damn it. I have a Molly in one of my scripts. Knew that. You know I knew that.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
just said Molly 1,000 times
Yes.
to you. But what would you do? Are you going to tell her you took drugs?
Probably, yeah.
And are
And,
you
like,
going
I've
to... She
enough-
comes home at 17 and she wants to roll a joint at home and smoke with one of her friends out the back.
I'd honestly tell her the negative stories that I have associated with drug use.
Would you consider weed drugs like in the same...
Yeah, but like I would classify it as like the weaker. Like I wouldn't, if someone says the blanket term drugs, I'm not going to ever equate weed and coke as anywhere near.
What
the
about
same.
alcohol and weed?
Yeah, they're fairly on the same level, I'd say.
I think alcohol is like a bazillion times worse.
Yeah, I think it is. As well.
Bazillion. I'm so
I think it is as
dramatic.
well, but I know that like just certain people are built for certain substances. And some
Yeah, that's so
there's people
true.
that can, smoke
Like
weed.
beer maybe isn't as bad.
Yeah, but like I know people that if they have a bit of whiskey, they turn into an absolute tyrant, and they're like the worst person in the world. But they
Yeah.
can smoke a joint, and they're lovely, and
Yeah.
it suits their
Yeah,
personality.
that's so true.
And you need to find your own poison that suits you.
It's
your
not
own vice.
poison. Medicine. I think weed is medicinal.
Yeah, but I just use poison as a term when I'm grouping alcohol.
Yeah, I know what you mean, like a vice.
Yeah, pick your
Yeah,
poison.
yeah, pick your poison. Yeah, no, I know. what
because
you
like I know that like there's certain drugs and certain alcohol that like do not agree with. I just
mean.
can't
Yeah,
have.
same.
Like I can't smoke weed. I get paranoid, I get sweaty, I start laughing like uncontrollably, and then I just get into myself and I'm like scared.
Yeah.
But if
I find it hilarious when people do that, but it's not. It's a spectator sport. It's not. It's not nice to be inside.
it's not fun for the person. And I did that for a while. Whereas I was like, oh,
You have the peer pressure that comes along.
oh, the peer pressure.
And you're just suffering the whole way
I
through.
suffered the entire every weekend. I was like, is this how I'm meant to?
Do you know what I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about actually? Because it brings me back to those memories of. Do you remember when we first met? Do you remember our first conversation?
I don't remember our first conversation.
I remember it probably because it was more important for me in the sense that I was dating being a very sophisticated word, one of Rob's friends.
Oh,
Alex.
yeah.
Hi, Al.
I thought we were dating
and
before then, though.
no,
So our first conversation would have been either in his house.
in his
or
house.
Yeah, yeah.
But I remember it because I remember it was him and there was like 5 or 6 of yous. And one of the guys, who Alex will know who I'm talking about, but I won't mention their name, was not very nice to me. And then
I can imagine it as
yeah, you know exactly
Oh, yeah,
what the fuck
yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you didn't have to I know, it's not a secret.
So he was being douchebaggy.
Yeah, because he was and is.
Yeah, just by nature. And so then the rest of you were just like excited to be with each other. And I was like, kind of like, oh, hey. And then I remember, so I wasn't getting much stage time in the room, let's say, like it was very much a bro hang. And then I was just
Yeah.
there. And I was like, fuck this,
Yeah.
And then I remember me and you started talking and you cracked a joke and you said something like, never nude. And then I was laughing and you were like, guys, do you not know what that is? And they didn't know. And then
Oh.
I was like,
To
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And then you looked at me and you were like, oh. And I was like, I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I'm in the room.
Like, get me in here.
I got it. Yeah.
I'm off the bench.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
And then I remember that was when you switched and you were like, oh, leave this up. Separate Alex, that kind of way. It was that
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
when you become like your own person aside
Yeah,
from
you've got
the
something in
guy
common.
you're
You've
with.
got a true line.
Well, you're like, now me and you have created a dynamic outside of this dynamic.
Yeah.
Because then I think me and you talked about TV for a while. And then it was like, I was like, okay, so Rob likes me. 1 down.
Yeah.
5 to go. But
Well,
no, I didn't care
every-
that much.
Yeah, no, I did the other 5.
No, everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
They're all so
are-
nice.
People are surprised though. Like, my group of friends are so varied. You wouldn't put any of us together as like friends.
No, I would.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I've just heard stuff where you've got like...
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. None of you have like the same... You just have similar personalities in the sense.
Similar personalities, but in terms of interests, we're all completely different.
Completely different, but still fanatical in your own interests.
Yeah, and then...
So you're all very hobby-oriented.
Yes.
But different hobbies.
None of us have the same career, none of us have the same goals.
No.
Whereas I see constantly like a group of lads who all have the same haircut.
Yeah.
They all want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They're all, engineers.
Tradies move together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like, what are those conversations? Because is it just 5 people in a room agreeing with each other for a couple of hours?
No, they maybe support different teams. That's the diversity.
But is that it though?
I think it's so normal to hang around with people. Sure, I want to be friends with lots of people in the film industry that are writers and directors and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It is quite normal. I think there wasn't going to be many sound engineers knocking about. Like, you just picked a very niche career and life path.
Well, yeah, but this is the interesting thing. I've had...
Like, young professionals all bunched together as well.
Yeah, like I've had so many different, all media related really.
Yeah.
So many different jobs I've tried throughout.
That's what I mean. You're not going to have a work gang then. Like it makes sense. Like, you didn't have a schedule that was the exact same as the other people's schedules.
Yeah, like I remember going into, because I went to Ballyfermot, I think in 2011 or 2012, for college. Like I did a PLC first.
Yeah.
In TV and media. And I do remember like going into Ballyfermot and going, oh, these, my tribe, my people.
Yeah.
Like we're all, like, I'm not the one who's making references and sprouting nonsense about like movie trips.
Now I've got to brush up on my references.
Yeah, no, I've got competition.
There's competition out there.
Everyone is this. And I'm like, yeah.
Everyone's walking around in their Ganzis.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's the same guy.
People are saying to me like, did you know that the behind the scenes of the... And I'm going, I did know that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. But you know.
Cute.
And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
That was mental though, because it was 20 of us in a course, which is a really small course.
Yeah.
And by the end...
What was the course?
It was ITC Media, I don't know, was it Film and TV course in Ballyfermot. It was great because it was such a small college course. Like I could call up any of them now. Even ones I haven't talked to since then. I know, just like, you know, all tight. All good
I love that.
And we all helped on each other's projects because, I mean, one of them was you have to make a TV show. And so, you know, you need at least 5 people.
Yeah.
And so it was a rotation of working with everybody.
Nice.
And everybody helping each other out.
Nice.
By the end of it then, it was just like a little family unit almost.
Yeah, and you learn such valuable skills by helping each other like that too.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, that was a PLC course.
Oh, PLCs.
And it was way more like, just here's the equipment, go and do it, rather than like, we're going to sit and talk theory for the whole week. And
could I go and do that PLC? No, I'd just be an old bitch in the corner, wouldn't I?
No, you wouldn't. Because when I went, there was people way older.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. It was all over the place.
70-year-old man, it's a community.
There was a 75-year-old man in the course.
No!
His name was Freddie.
Of course it was.
And
he went by Freddie and not Fred.
Yeah, it was Freddie.
Oh, that's a hip move.
And people would ask him like, oh, like, you know, what made you do this course? And he was like, oh, well, I just want to learn how to video edit and do some photography. I can't remember the specific reasons, but I think it was family or like, I want to take pictures of my family better and edit videos and stuff. And once the like video editing and photography like modules finished, he just left the course. He was legit.
Did he pay for the course?
He must have, yeah.
Did you pay for the course? No.
Yeah, I paid some of it. I think I got a grant for some of it, but the rest.
What's it, like 1,300 or something? Oh, grab that white little bit of thing. Is it 1,300 for
I can't remember.
Something like that though. It's less than 2 for a PLC, surely.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 600 or 700 quid per like
semester,
something like that.
Yeah, because I wouldn't mind brushing up, especially with cameras and stuff. It wouldn't be the worst.
You're already flying though, to be honest.
Oh,
no, honestly, like no, but like if you,
I care. I think that's a
I
key
think
ingredient.
College isn't necessary, but when people give you parameters and an assignment, that is phenomenal for you to learn.
Yeah.
Because you actually have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
And parameters are the most important thing for you to learn. It's like, if I said to you, go make a film, you're going to go and like, it's like choice paralysis. Yeah. There's too much things you could do. Yeah. Whereas if I say you have to make a 3-minute film and it has to be about this topic, already I'm boxing you in, and you will have to learn how to edit better to make it 3 minutes. Yeah. You'll have to learn how to like get rid of stuff or what you can do or how you can write for it to be, you know, within those parameters, and you'll learn way more. And I think that's what college is really great for.
Well, PLCs particularly, I think PLCs are run separate from like the academic heavy nature of college itself.
Yes,
So then
yeah.
PLCs have a much more like kind of, like, the college has its own personality.
Yeah.
So it's kind of their curriculum is up to them. There's nobody kind of overhead staring at them, seeing what they're doing. It's almost like the TY of college years.
It is, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
I love PLCs.
Because I did a PLC because I wasn't sure
done a
about doing
PLC.
it. Yeah, never great, in fairness. Well, I think you're doing what that already is, which is you have a goal, which is to make this podcast,
Yeah.
and you're actually doing the production of it.
Yeah.
And that is college, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't been given a reason, you have a reason. You
Yeah.
have enough passion to go and do it, so you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have a passion for, you know, whatever it is you're doing, you need college to give you parameters and give you a reason
Yeah.
to push you. And that's why if I'm doing, like, because I did a media course afterwards, there was loads of modules and loads of topics that I'd never touched in 9 years. But college helped me kind of go, oh, you know, I actually do like this.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd never done that on my own, but I was always going to be doing video editing or sound engineering on my own.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Because I always have a passion for that, even if it's music or just film in general.
But see, the reason why I would love going to college is for the teachers. I really
Yeah.
respect educators. Like,
Yeah.
my parents are both teachers, so I'm a little bit biased. I'm a brother's teacher, but like, I did the screenwriting masters in IDT, and Paul Freeney, who better be fucking coming on soon. He is a wizard. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's a genius, and like that. I could take or leave a lot of the classes, but I mean, I don't know if I would pay the same just for him. But do you know, it was like that experience of having a lecturer and to know. Yeah, just to have that kind of pushback and encouragement. There's a lot to be said for it, especially for someone who loves it as much as you do,
Well, like,
storytelling wise.
Yeah, but even seeing lecturers who are clearly still practicing what they're teaching, because if you're a lecturer, you have to every year go over the basics again and again
Yeah.
for a new crop of people.
Yeah.
And you have to keep setting up things or, you know, whatever it is, and you're just so well practiced then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're actually just able to see someone who's doing this week in and week out,
Yeah.
you know?
One of my favourite lecturers, Stephen Benedict, who's amazing. He remember I went to a screening of a short film last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he did that himself, like wrote, directed.
What was the name of the short film?
Lady of Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was with a woman, an older woman and her little dog.
Oh.
It was very sweet.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was really sweet. But like that, it was so rewarding to see someone who comes in and teaches about it so passionately to then go and put it into action and to be actually making something himself, to
Yeah.
retain that passion and to keep
Yeah.
that kind of fire going. And to bring that experience and be able to deliver it to students like me, to be able to hear, you know, and to be able to really have that one-on-one, like whatever 6-on-1 time we had with him, where he's really living the future that we want as well, a lot of us, you know?
Yeah, that's
But then I think some people who are teaching and then it's like they're still trying so hard to do, and it's like, you I think you might be a teacher though, you know? Like, I think some people are so good at the teaching part that I'm like, come here and do this properly because you're so good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to know, because like, when would you, if you love something so much and then you become a teacher, when do you stop doing the something and just become a teacher?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Or maybe you've reached a point where you've done enough to be fulfilled, and teaching is kind of the next thing.
Yeah,
like,
I think I want to lecture.
Like
sure.
I did a few I've done script writing in multiple different college courses. One at Ballyfermot, one at DCU, and it's really nice when you have a lecturer who has past work that's made it onto TV or onto film, and you're able to actually go back and read what they've done. And so then all of a sudden, like, the respect you gain for them teaching you just goes.
What if you don't like what they've done?
Then you can talk to them about it and go, why was
Or
this?
then you can just be like, I didn't get a chance to see it yet. Oh, damn, yeah. What's it called again?
No, it's great. I swear to God, I loved it.
It's crazy. It's crazy, the creative world. And like, it's crazy, the creative world, because it's so precious and everybody is so vulnerable, you know, as you're putting your stuff out there.
It's happens to me as well. The smallest bit of criticism can level me if it's something that I've put so much time and work into. It can really, and like, I don't have thick skin for it, to be honest. I just don't.
I do have a thick skin, but I get a bit, I go on the attack. Like, Adam's like, calm down, don't do this, because I'm like, they're an idiot. Who the fuck are they? They obviously, you know, their mom didn't hug them enough when they were growing up as a child.
This is
and
it,
like, I just go on the attack, and then I'm like, oh my God, I said some shameful things.
It depends who it is though as well.
Yeah.
So if there is, like, say, a successful writer, director, you know, someone who's like in the industry who is successful, critiques you in a way that's like a bit harsh, it'll affect you and
Yeah.
it'll kind of get to you. But if it's some nobody who hasn't attempted anything, because it's very easy,
Yeah, that's so true.
it's very easy for people to just, absolutely shit on everything.
Yeah.
But if they haven't tried anything, their opinion's useless.
100%. Like, I'm not going to take, Kanye said it, I think, and I'm sure loads of people before, but like, I'm not going to take even advice from somebody whose life I don't envy or like whose life I don't respect in some way. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's until, or skill set,
Yeah,
it's like when you see if you admire someone, then their criticism or their opinion matters a lot more.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, it's rampant in Ireland as well, where it's, why would you try to do that thing? And like when you're really trying to start something new, you're kind of penalised for it in terms of like, why would you, come on, like,
The
notions. The notions, you won't succeed or whatever. And then if you do succeed, they're like, oh, they're doing great.
Yeah.
And they're like, it switches so quick from like being against you to being super proud.
Yeah.
Like, I always knew they'd be fine or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always from the people who are not doing anything in the same like industry or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing something in media, the people who are going to shame you are the people who are working like an office job, something else.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. There was a point when I was up, when I initially wanted to be a screenwriter, and I did the degree in accounting and finance.
Yeah.
And then when I was telling everybody that I was going to be a screenwriter, and I tried to be a rapper for a little brief period.
Oh, I remember that. Let's talk about that. I do remember that.
No, I'm not prepared.
Oh, I remember this so vividly.
Did you hear any of them? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear Alex's?
Yeah.
Oh, Alex is a real support.
Yeah.
They were good.
I remember that you were like, I'm going to drop out and I'm going to like pursue this becoming like a hip hop megastar.
This is where people got it twisted.
Okay, yeah, I probably did.
Yeah, you did. I mean, to be fair, the story is so much better, and I did perpetuate it because I was so angry at society. But I didn't drop out. I wanted to be a screenwriter, and then I was gonna finish because I was like, finally, I know what I want to do, so I'll finish this course, even though I would have failed miserably. And then lots of stuff happened in my personal life, which I don't think I can share, which caused me to be like, right, well, now I have to drop out because this is too much going on.
Yeah.
And then I started to write rap, which still makes me laugh. And it was good.
I can't say anything because I've done the same thing before, where I've had that like, I'm going to get into music and...
I don't know if I wanted to get into music. I think I was a lyricist. I think I was writing.
You see,
I think I was writing poetry. It was the same thing. But the screenwriting came first. And then because I was going through a breakup and I was heartbroken, the rapping became like an outlet. It was like a therapy thing. And then people gassed me up. I didn't think I was going to do anything. People were like, this is good. And I was like, oh, what? Yeah. What? But I never saw myself in a music video. Like, do you know what I mean? I never saw myself being... I wanted to write I still want to write a rap musical, and that's where I'll use the lyrics.
I went through such a similar thing in terms of...
You were never judgmental of that because you're like a trier as well.
Yeah, I was like, do it. Like, but I think at the time I was like, do it, but don't drop out of college to do it.
I did drop out, and it worked.
I think at the time, though, you said you had a certain amount of time left, and I was like, if you can get past the finish line... Yeah, but like at the time, I don't know that.
Yeah, everyone was like, you could do it, and I was like, guys, I haven't been there. I don't even know.
I was like, I don't know your life story, but it sounds not great at the moment.
People are coming out of nowhere just being like, don't drop out. And I was like, no, guys, I have to at this point.
I was never like, don't, go into hip hop. I was just like, do both. In terms of like, keep your college and also do that. But I remember like, I went through the worst, like for me, the worst depression for about 3 years. And it was actually through when I was in DCU college, because it was no sleep, heartbroken, just depression, not being healthy. And I wrote a full book of poetry. And then I printed that out and I got it like put it into a few shops around Dublin. But I needed to do that to just get stuff out.
That's what I look back. I think rap was hilarious. Rap was my therapy at that point.
Yeah, that's all.
And then screenwriting was going to be my career. But I was like, this is helping. Whatever is happening here is helping massively.
Yeah, and for me it was like...
it's such a healthy way to get your shit
out.
Yeah,
like I never wanted to release a book of poetry. I just wanted something that gives me the process of getting what I felt out at the time. So I could have... Like I think I wrote maybe like... I remember there was like a word count on... It was like 120,000 words. Of just like nonsense poetry. Crazy. But I'd write to and from college on the like hour and a half long bus journey. And it was just like, I mean, 90% of it is nonsense.
Yeah.
That like has no use for it except for the process of doing it made me feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just needed it as a bit of a lifeline. I just needed something.
At the time, I definitely was like, being a rapper would be kind of cool. But then in hindsight, I'm like, no, that was kind of my therapy. And like, yeah, the screenwriting came first and will live forever. Whereas the rap, I was like, yeah, I can write lyrics, but like.
But if you had have spent, say, at the same time you felt that, if you had have just spent like, you know, a couple of hours each day or each week in the corner of a random room just writing, it would have been the same effect. In terms of, it was never about you telling people that you wanted to become this thing. It was about you needed the process of writing to get out how you felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the end goal wasn't even important. No. It was the process of doing it was something you just felt like you had to do at the time.
Yeah. And
that was therapy. But at the time, you don't really notice it.
No, at the time, I was too excited by the fact that I could potentially be a rapper. Honestly, I was like, this is a bit of a fucking swerve. Like, this is a bit of a cool little detour. But then I think I was like, I am so white and I am so not good at rapping, like out loud. Like some of it's good, but
like I love hip hop. Maybe my favorite genre of music.
Yeah, see, I don't even think I love it enough. You know that kind of way.
For me, it's like there's like 2 or 3 genres that are like my top, but like hip hop was always up there for the production side because
the beats.
Because it's you have these producers and DJs who there's like less rules in hip hop about what you can do, and because it's very clearly like not meant to be a live, like it's not a live band. It is made and it comes from like recycled bits of everything else because they couldn't afford a live band. There's less rules and the production value is like mental. You can do anything, you know. And so when they have like just different samples of different things and how they put them together is like it's just like a playground of like what you could do, and that's really exciting. And that's I think I got into that before where I was like I can be a rapper or like I can turn what I've wrote into like music.
I think anyone can try and be a rapper.
Yeah, anyone can try, but for me it was really just like I'm looking forward to making beats.
You were the production side always.
Yeah, I was always
for me it's always the words. Yeah. Always the music. Always the words. And like that's why I think I'm not even that much of a music person. Even the music that I like is quite lyrics heavy, you know? Like I like lyricists. That's like my style.
Yeah, like you'd be Eminem.
Oh.
Because he's just storytelling as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a joy.
I'd be MF Doom though.
Yeah, see again, that was always just very like, it didn't matter what he was saying really as much.
Which MF Doom?
Yeah.
Well, for me, MF Doom is
I don't think I was listening to him, do you know what I mean?
If you listen to MF Doom and you think you know what the songs are, you think you picked up on everything, and then you concentrate on it, you listen to it a few more times, and you realise that you've probably only scratched like 10% of what the song actually is. Yeah. Because every line is an innuendo or a joke that
see, I'm not
everything.
big on that as either.
Yeah, I can tell. You're more like...
Just get to the fucking point.
Yeah,
tell
you're more like, there's a story. Yeah. Whereas I'm like clever wordplay.
Yeah.
And like, that's...
People are like that with writing as well, where they're like, ooh, juicy wordplay. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are you trying to tell me though?
I'm that person.
Oh, different folks.
It's like, I respect... like
the craft of it.
Yeah, the craft of them doing... Yeah, I don't know how to even... explain it properly.
No, I know exactly what you mean though, because it's like the thought that's put into every single sentence.
Yeah, and it's like if they can somehow twist the rules with a bit of cleverness, to me it's like a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
You know, or something like clicks, like when you just get something.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a joke that or a reference or something, it just clicks with you.
Yeah.
It's really satisfying.
Yeah. See, I think I like the raw emotion of the stream of consciousness type rap. Like that. I like. I'm listening to NF.
Okay.
Yeah, again, Eminem type music where it's just like as if he's just talking to someone.
Yeah.
And just really telling them how you feel and talking in like layman's terms, you know, like that's my favourite style.
Yeah.
Of like just tell me. Even Ed Sheeran is one of my favourite lyricists and his is quite what you see is what you get. Like,
does that spill over into film for you in terms of
100%?
Yeah, it's more about the story and
it's more like what people would really say in the moment. Like as in straight from brain out the mouth. Like that's my favourite type of human being in all. Have
you noticed though since starting this podcast, are you more aware if you watch a film of the technical aspect?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it's a weird, like when you pick up on even a slight bit of like knowing what it takes to do a production.
Yeah.
When you watch a film, you go, how many people were involved?
Yeah.
And like how amazing it is that like it came together.
That's why I smoke weed when I watch stuff, because it allows me to get straight back into the film. Especially Neo cinema, because I don't like to watch with that attitude, and that's why I get so frustrated when things do take you out of it. Like I was watching Nobody Wants This. Have you heard of this new Netflix show? No?
I watched it. Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. Yeah.
Woo! We can talk about it, but I've got 2 episodes out.
Okay.
But like that, I'm like, what? They all live in fucking Airbnbs. Like none of their houses have actual personality. Like everything is brand new. There's no dust. There's nothing left out on the surfaces. Like, you know, they're wearing different outfits every single day. Like that's why I love productions that have repeated outfits. I love productions that have sets that are lived in, like grubby.
You know,
I'm like, he doesn't fucking live there. Like, who's this person?
The art of that is dying a death as well. The art of just like set production in terms of just making it unique or a bit of that is one of those things where like every single scene of that is just the same color.
The same color. And they stole, I don't know if they stole an imitation, I suppose. There's a lot of the same jokes. Like remember she turns around and she's like, I'm not going to look at you when I say this, and she turns around, that's in something else. There's another thing, there was 3 like heartfelt moments where I was like, oh, they're like boop, boop, boop. And it's written by all different writers, but the same creator. I know. So it's not autorial, so it's like very produced. Very, very high production.
Well, there's so much stuff now that comes out that.
But I love it.
I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It's right up my street. I'm a sucker for that type of shit anyway. So I'm sold on a good one story. I kind of am as well.
And I love the kind of the side characters in it as well, like the sister.
See, I really like the brother.
Like, yeah, to me,
he's
that elevates. Yeah. Like he's great.
He's great.
And he gets better episode to episode.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was to look at that show,
and she's in Succession. They got some good. Yeah, they got some good actors.
That's like I look at a show like that and I'm like, that is one where I do turn my brain off, because there's nothing in terms of production to like excite me. But I am an absolute sucker for like rom-coms.
Yeah.
And like I just turn my brain off, and I know it's gonna happen. From episode 1 I know it's gonna happen.
But I'm not like, oh my god, this is so good. I'm just like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. I'm like, oh, take me on a little journey.
Yeah.
It's fake. It's like, you know what I mean?
Cozy.
Yeah. Whereas I'm not like, I don't feel seen when I watch it. I'm just like, oh yeah, as if like what? He's just gonna accept her crazy at every turn. Like she's just repeatedly psycho, and he's like, it's okay to be who you are. Like perfect man.
Yeah,
like,
they don't.
Surely he'd be like, oh, fucking get out of my face now. You're
they don't give him that much motivation to be mad. I mean, not really either.
He doesn't have a lot of depth.
No, not really.
No, she's always getting mad at him, and she's like, I got the ick, and he's like, that's okay.
Yeah, he's like, I am completely understandable in every single scenario.
In every single scenario.
And I will, like, you know, put all of your fears at ease in every situation.
In every situation. And then anytime he fucks up, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Straight away. Like, he's never like, yeah, but... Like, there's no reality to this man. He's not like, yeah, but you don't get it, because, like, I had to do this, and then I had to do this, and then I had to do this. Well, and then 2 hours later, being like, fine, I'm sorry. Like, that's reality. You know what I mean? Like, that's a character who's real. Whereas he's like, oh, baby, baby. Baby, 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 baby. I'm perfect man again.
This is the best scenario for that show, okay? There is a season 2.
Yeah.
Right? If there is a season 2.
Yeah.
And season 2 is about him slapping and murdering her. And it turns into
because he could. Like he could go that way, like Penn Bagley or whatever.
Yeah, that would be a phenomenal show if it just took that turn.
Oh no.
And then it's the sister and the brother uncovering how the murder happened. That'd be a great turn.
Yeah. That would be entertaining if those 2 became the leads.
Yeah.
I often think, why do they make... Now, to be fair, she's quite funny. Christian Bell is hilarious.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah.
She can do nearly no wrong. She's such a Hollywood star. Like, you know, she's just perfect in that sense. So, like, I think it's a perfect project for what it is. So no slate in that way.
She plays such like a bitch or a wreck of a person so well.
Yeah, she's just
like
really
even
good.
in the good place.
What age is she supposed to be?
Oh, that's a great question.
Right?
Oh, she'd have to be... I don't even...
Say it, Rob. Off the top of your head. What age are you giving her?
I'm giving her 40s.
Oh, 40s.
Yeah.
In that show?
In the context of the show, no.
But you looking at it, you're like, that's a 40-ish-year-old woman.
I think it's... Yeah.
Because I think she's playing like 35 in it.
Oh, yeah. Or even, around that.
But then what age is he? They could just talk about whether they're going to have kids or not. You know, that would be more realistic and entertaining. I don't know what ages they're supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
because it reads like 35-year-olds where they are in their lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he would have. I feel like the character, again, I'm reading very deep into a character that's supposed to be fluff and fun.
Yeah, you're going into things that there was not stated or...
No. Not brought up in the writer's room. If I was in the writer's room, they'd be like, get out. Like, you're so annoying. I'd be like, yeah, but what, he's 40 and now he's realised he wants
his childhood trauma? They're like, this is a rom-com name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know. That's
will they, won't they?
Yeah, will they, won't they?
You're
It's
like,
fun
yeah,
to
but
watch.
what is their, their
I'm like, but does he want kids? Like, what? Like, why was he with Rebecca for so long if he wants kids? Because he can't wait till you're fucking 40-ish. I suppose men kind of can. And she does seem like a woman who would just not think about it. Yeah, fair. Okay, so we're maybe late 30s, early 40s. That's what ages they are.
I just say. Well, that's something that I, again, will not think of when it comes to a show like that. I'm just brain off.
Oh no, I'm sitting there being like, what age does she think she is at this time, Because for me, it's interesting, the psychology of Christian Bell. Like, what age is she pitching to them, Because she's obviously like, Alexa, what age is Kristen Bell?
Kristen Bell is 44 years old.
44?
I got it right, yeah.
Okay, so she's 44.
Yeah.
So maybe she's paying early 40s, but no, because I don't think so. I think she's a little bit younger than that.
I do want to change topic, though, and stay on reviews of... You seen Bird last week?
Yes.
Because I want to know, because I haven't now, the last film I saw in cinema was not worth going to see, but...
Bird is very good. No doubt about it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Would not watch it again. So it's not my type of film in the sense that it's a director's movie, I think a little bit more than a writer's movie. Not that I want to, completely compromise.
But when someone says, I'd never watch it again, that to me is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's like, there are films that are like, replayable that you can watch.
Yeah.
And then there's films that it's given you what it's trying to say, what it's trying to do, and you're
exactly. So it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I was blown away, but I didn't cry. It wasn't like an emotional, it was a very emotional movie. I don't know how to describe it. I think maybe it lacked, I don't know what. Very artsy, very art house movie.
Okay.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. That's, for me then, when you say something else, like, I'll watch that.
Yeah, you like it. Oh no, I would watch it in the cinema.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you were at the...
Does Mary Kate like artsy movies?
She likes anything really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, then go watch it in the cinema. No, it's gorgeous in the cinema. It has a mystical element to it.
Okay, yeah, no.
Like what's it? Unrealism? What's the other?
Like hyper reality?
No, the opposite. Like it has a fantastical element to it, like a bit of a magical.
Okay.
Yeah, a magical twist. So, yeah, definitely worth seeing in the cinemas.
You went to the Lighthouse to watch it, yeah, and that is the best cinema.
Mm-hmm. The director was there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but she was not happy to be there.
No?
No. I know, I think she felt uncomfortable. But anyway, let's not.
Well, you can probably tell from the film the type of, like, if I'm watching a film, I can tell if the director is an introvert or an extrovert.
Yeah.
Like, how they are.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you can just tell.
Yeah.
You can tell from the film what type of person.
It's quite weird to be in front of that many people. But I watched her other movie without even knowing who she was, Fish Tank. Okay. It's quite dark subject matter.
Yeah.
And it's very... Yeah, it's hard to watch in that sense. But that was Fish Tank was the same, where you're just like, oh God, fuck, I forgot like this happens. That kind of way.
Yeah, no, I do like films like that actually are a bit challenging. Yeah. I don't know about either of those films, but I do like film where I'm like, that challenged, my perception or, just dealing with a pretty rough topic that I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
But it's important that I did watch it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm so glad I watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put they really used Barry Keoghan to market it. And he's great in it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think I would have given the main girl a bit more marketing time because she was really beautiful in it.
Yeah.
If you were to pick a director that you would most like to be like, who would it be?
Most liked? Well,
like as in who is your taste the most?
Oh, that's a tough one, to be honest with you. And it changes every couple of years.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, for me it would change every couple.
It's such a director's mind.
Well,
to have it be changing.
I'd have it be changing because if I find a new director and start watching they're my favourite director for those couple of months.
No, but what do you think your style and whose is your style the most like?
Oh, that's tough. I'd want to say my interests in terms of what's important on film would align most with Edgar Wright. which is so Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Baby Driver.
Yes.
But like his is technically so fun, where it's a lot of like quick pans and zooms, and the scene transitions are
Makes sense,
incredible. And
you love all that.
I love that.
See, for me, I can't stay with that.
Like I made a short film when I was about 16, 17 years old. And the only reason I made the short film was to test out a editing transition. It was the only reason I was like, I just want to make sure that this works. And so it was like someone throwing a knife through a card that someone else was holding. And if you get the camera and you swoosh it that it's all blurry, and then, so you have one shot where it's someone throwing a knife at nothing, and the next shot starts with the kind of quick pan, and the knife's already in the card, but it's the person reacting to it, and you put them together and you fade it, and it looks like the knife's getting thrown through it.
That shit makes you...
Oh, that's the best.
That's it for you?
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, this is savage, because it's like magic tricks.
So interesting.
Because it is. It's like smoke and mirrors, but when you get it to look that way, and it's such a simple effect, and I was able to do it with like a terrible camera and terrible video editing, and I was like, this is savage.
Yeah, wow.
It's just little stuff like that. The production side of it.
That's the production side of it. That's so interesting.
Yeah. But like Edgar Wright's films for me are like the most fun in terms of editing and production.
Yeah, interesting.
There's
so much space now for everyone. It's a great time to be in filmmaking. Because like that, even when people in the screenwriting masters, everyone has their own style and unique taste, and it's like, it's so subjective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I get annoyed that people aren't having enough fun with production. Because I see so many films or TV shows, even like Nobody Wants This, where you can, like, everyone's very professional, you can tell that it's a well-made thing, but there's no, like, really, like, trying to, like, make the set more unique, make the editing a bit more. It's all very much, like, by the books, correct. Or even, like,
you're trying to get it as close to AI as possible, so it'll just run itself, I think.
Yeah, but even if you look at comedy films now, it's always just, like, a shot of a person talking, and it's the lines are funny, but the editing isn't funny. Well, the editing could be funny, It's not like the camera isn't doing anything, fun, not doing anything creative.
Yeah, I see. You're gonna not maybe like my films too much. Like,
well, I'm going to help you with your films, and I'm going to tell you, you need to throw in some fun.
And I'm going to say, get off my set, Rob.
Rob's banned.
Yeah.
He was picking up the camera too much and trying to...
Let Rob go make a quirky film over there. Yeah. No. My shit is going to be like Greta Gerwig. She uses a stationary camera, and all it is just actors coming in and acting. And it's just simple.
See, that's the thing. If you want to see that type of film, that's perfect. Like, if I want something that is...
Would that bore you?
No. If it's done well, it's done well. Because for me, it's like...
Would you crave that kind of, like that kind of trick stuff? You like the tricks, do you?
It's probably my favourite thing about film, the fact that you can do it, but it's not a necessity. Because if a film has such a good story and such a good script, get rid of everything that detracts from that.
Yeah.
So if she has stationary cameras and it's just like wide shots of people talking, it better be a good story.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
No doubt about
and
it.
so
it's like theatre almost.
Yeah, and so like if a story is that good, it can carry everything.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And like the camera's not going to actually take away from that story. You're not going to be distracted by the fun camera. Yeah. You're like, this is a story that I'm now like, I'm in it.
Whereas you like it where you would nearly have to write the camera directions into the script because it's part of the jokes.
Yeah, and I do that on script writing.
Oh my god, that's so
I'd leave a couple of little notes of like how I would transition, what the camera's doing. Just a few little bits, just to remind me of what I was thinking when I wrote it.
I don't write camera directions as much as I just write, like, if I want a close-up, because I'll direct my own stuff. If I want a close-up, I'll write a detail about that, like, as in, like if someone puts their hand to fix their hair, and then I know that's kind of a close-up and emotional.
Yeah.
But, there's so many, and that was when I watched Bird, I was like, okay, so this is a completely different style. I'd still learned a lot from it, because it was all handheld cameras, which I thought were really gorgeous, because it was really intimate.
Yeah.
And then she used the phone screens and like came in and out phone screens and stuff. It was really like...
I love as well. I love that. Like,
it was a real... whoever edited it did a beautiful job. Like you could definitely notice that the editor had worked really hard.
That's what I love the language of cinema in terms of they're using handheld, because I assume the people that were in it were probably facing something of an uncertainty. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
story.
or fun. It was kind of like a childlike quality, like she was running and the camera was running alongside
Yeah, because
her.
I've seen I love the psychology.
Or it was making the audience feel unsettled, like she was getting chased up the stairs and the camera was chasing.
I love the psychology of film in terms of if you've got two characters talking and one person is in control, the camera on them is steady on a tripod. And the other person who is not in control or a bit more, they use a handheld camera to get that shake because they're not on sure footing. And no one notices it, but your brain, your subconscious notices it, and it just elevates everything. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, it's hard because you have to get the balance of that, but you also then have to get the balance of actual consistency and like the flow of the entire story.
Yeah.
So like it's like if you do, it's so hard to like figure out. That's why I think directing is such a skill as well, obviously, because it's like figuring out how to do that in such a way that the audience never notices it. But also, an audience that isn't in film, obviously a film head will always notice stuff, and that's no shade. But while also having the balance of like the audience never knowing, but like that bringing them on the emotional journey through the camera.
Yeah.
But then for me, I'm less interested in the camera movement as much as I'm interested in costume design. Like I'm so interested in what a character wears. I'm so interested in what a character has in their fridge.
That's one of the things where for me anyway, I wouldn't notice it unless it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
If it's really, really good, I won't notice it consciously, but I'll know that it's great.
Yeah. It's the storytelling still seeping through.
Yeah,
like,
and if it's passable, I won't notice. But if it's terrible, I'll notice. It's this analogy of like a waiter of like if you have the world's best waiter, you won't even notice that they're the world's best waiter.
Yeah.
If you have the world's worst waiter, you will know that you have the world's worst waiter.
Yeah.
And that's similar. Like there's certain aspects of film where I won't notice it.
I've never heard that analogy. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, unless it's terrible, I won't notice it.
Yeah.
And when it's phenomenal, it just does its job so well that you don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this.
Yeah, same. That's why I can't wait to work with some really good costume designers, and I can't wait to work with some really good set designers. I feel like once I have a grasp on, once I have those type of people in my corner, I feel like it's going to take over the world because it's just such an art form that you don't realize you need.
Well,
Greta Gerwig. Did you see Lady Bird?
No, I haven't seen Lady Bird.
Oh, Lady Bird's amazing.
The last couple of years now, I probably have a backlog or a list of maybe 50 films that I wanted to see that I just
Did you see The Holdovers?
No,
I haven't seen it yet. I'm dying to see that. That's one of the ones. I go through the Oscar list. I try.
Yeah, see, I've always tried, and then the last couple of years
you have a baby.
Yeah, I just
and you work.
Well, this is the annoying thing. I went to the cinema.
But you binged Nobody Wants This, did you?
Yeah.
Like the 2 years finished it, maybe. Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I want to write comfort stuff. I'm like, that shit will break through everyone's schedule.
Okay, so I watched the first 3 episodes of it with Mary Kate. She went to bed, and then I was like,
"Oh no, Rob! Not something like that."
This is what happened, right?
That's so bitchy.
What a bitchy? What do you mean bitchy?
To watch it without her.
I watched 1 episode.
No, I'm on side.
On a different Netflix profile.
You are a rock bag! Oh my god, that's cheating!
It's not cheating.
It is cheating.
It is cheating. Yeah.
It's so premeditated.
It is cheating. And then the next day...
That's filthy behaviour, Rob.
The next day, we watched episode 4 together, and I just pretended like I hadn't seen it, I just wanted
Okay, that's kind of romantic that you pretended you hadn't seen it.
I'll rewatch things. So I...
But would she not have... Did she cop?
No. She'll cop now that I've said it out loud.
I'm on your side, Mary Kate.
Yeah. I just I watched the 4th episode because I was like, I just want to know.
Yeah, of course you want to know. Yeah. That's what's going on.
And she got to bed and I was like, I'll just use a different Netflix account. we have a shared one for me and one for her.
Yeah.
So it was we used hers for the first episode. So I was like,
just flick over.
Let's see what the 4th episode's about. And then stop it and be like, okay, and I go back into her profile.
That is so funny. Yeah. That's so sneaky. I respect it though. I saved the last 2 episodes for tonight because I'm pretty excited, and I was like, I don't want to watch. I want to watch these now.
It's a good last episode.
Don't.
No, I won't say anything. I'm saying it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good last episode.
Okay, let's make these last 10 minutes count. Top 5. Top 5 favourite films, not best. Favourite.
Oh God. Nice. Oh, again.
I know, they don't have to be accurate.
So what?
As in, don't feel just name ones that are up there, top 5. Do you know what I mean? Let's say up there movies.
Yeah. Okay. So I will go. City of God.
Oh, I love City of God.
Phenomenal.
Oh, I love City of God.
I forced people.
Shout out to the favelas.
I forced people who are hungover who do not want to watch
You
it.
made them watch it hungover. That's so right.
And they're like, Rob, I just want like.
It's a beautiful movie though, but
You
it's
know-
not a hangover movie.
Well, no, this is what happens. Like, I've had mates who have stayed in mine or we've been hungover, so I'm like, I just want to watch City of God. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And like,
It's beautiful.
they watched the first 10 minutes, like, Rob, I'm hungover. This is not good.
No.
But by the end of it, they're like, oh my God, what
It's
happened
so
to Benny?
good,
The
yeah.
film is phenomenal.
It's gorgeous.
I'm going to go number 2, probably The Prestige.
I don't even see The Prestige.
To me, it is Christopher Nolan's best film.
I think I've seen clips of it. People have shown it.
Here's how I sell it to, maybe not to you, but to
Yeah,
other
I don't
people.
know. Would I like it? Is it my type of film?
So it is.
I like Nolan though.
So, The Prestige is Wolverine versus Batman with magic, and David Bowie plays referee.
It's kind of an acid trip image in my head right now. Is
Yeah.
what's happening.
Well, yeah, it's.
But I do like Christopher Nolan's stuff, so
It's-
maybe I would like it.
The whole film is about filmmaking.
Okay.
It's about
Yeah, I've
magic,
definitely heard of
but
it.
it's about filmmaking.
Yeah, okay. I've definitely heard of
And
it.
Christian
Oh,
Bale.
It's about magic.
So Christian Bale is a magician in like the 18th century, and Hugh Jackman is also one. They work together, and then they become rivals, and they're trying to like fuck each other over.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
And it gets like
Dark.
and then because it's Christopher Nolan, there's
Lots of weird shit going on.
the weird stuff. The story unfolds in a super satisfying way.
Oh,
like-
interesting. Okay, say no more. Number two. Is number 1 City of God?
Probably.
Did you fucking go from 1 down to 5? You're supposed to go 5 to 1.
Well, no, I'm just going through them. Really.
Okay,
I
let's
mean,
go through
I-
them. So no,
these-
these
all of these-
always shuffle.
Always shuffle.
Okay, perfect.
Inglourious Bastards.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and Inglourious Bastards, like the opening scene alone is one of the best opening scenes.
I don't remember the opening scene.
Christoph Waltz, the Jew hunter with the big pipe, and he goes to like a milk farmer's house, and the milk farmer
Oh yeah,
says-
yeah, and then they're underneath the
yeah.
floor. Is that the opening scene?
That's the opening scene,
Yeah,
and
that's
it is
fucking terrifying.
Yeah, and it's like 10 minutes long, and
It's terrifying.
It's
And he drinks the milk.
yeah,
So
but
he
like the
asks
whole
for something.
the
He asks
whole
for-
thing is just like a power
Tension,
play
yeah, it's
of
insane.
intention, right?
It's insane how he builds up that tension. So
Yeah,
early.
phenomenal.
He's an amazing actor though, that guy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I think he won an award for Inglourious Bastards.
he Christoph Waltz got the Oscar for that, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, deserved. Phenomenal. Right, so we've got 2 films left for my. I'm gonna say this is more of a favorite. Like, if I was in a film course, this isn't the film that I'd be like, this is, it's, you know what I mean? People have those picks where
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know. I one day didn't. I was like Bridesmaids, Step Brothers, Anchorman. Like I was like, I'm not fucking saying any artsy bougie
Well,
shit.
when
like,
someone says that, I automatically think, okay, they're a trustworthy person.
yeah,
Because you're not putting up a front where it's
Yeah.
like, what's your favorite film?
yeah, it's like some 1920s French film. It's
Yeah.
like suck a fucking dick. You want to
Yeah.
watch The Holiday? Like,
Yeah. I'm going to say Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
okay, nice. I don't think I've seen that. Is that with Michael Cera?
Yeah.
I love Michael Cera.
That is Edgar Wright's, my favorite Edgar
I've
Wright
heard
film.
it recommended so many times, but again, it's that kind of I can't get on board with the exact taste that you
Yeah.
love. It's like it kind of takes me out of it a little bit, whereas I think you admire it.
I've seen that in cinema like 4 times. when it was out.
I must give it a go though, because I've heard amazing things about it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It sucks you into it.
Yeah,
pretty
people love
quick.
it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cartoon style.
It is, yeah. It's,
Kind of cartoonish, I feel
Yeah.
like that type of work is.
yeah.
Like
That's-
you could turn it into a cartoon and
It-
you could pull all
it
the
got
shots
turned
from
into
it.
it got turned into a cartoon then
Okay,
afterwards.
maybe that's why I'm saying it. Maybe that
Yeah,
my
it came from a
consciousness.
comic book, was adapted into a film, and that was like 2010 or 2011 it came out. And then only like earlier this year they released a kind of sequel cartoon to it. Yeah.
They're just trying to milk everything for everything it's worth now. They're afraid
Yeah.
to make new shit. Okay, one more.
One more. I automatically, which is a complete cheat, I'm like, can I have 3 more? And like,
No, we just sit here naming
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
films
just
you like for an hour.
I just sit,
Two more.
How good was he in that?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the best?
Well, Godfather 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Well, I'm gonna say Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Goodfellas is just
Such a fucking
Yeah.
masculine 5 films. Scott Pilgrim is probably Is there any female leads in any of those?
no, I don't think so.
Well,
it is a problem with Hollywood. Not me.
No, you're right. You're right. It's
is-
just interesting to know.
It's systemic, really.
It is. No, it is. And like mine are a lot of male leads too, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's what sells.
It's not what sells. It's the women who are at home having babies.
Yeah, but it's one of those where it's been tried and tested by Hollywood that like a male lead will gain more money, but only because they only put male leads
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it
yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
And it becomes a self-fulfilling
Yeah.
prophecy of like, well, this has worked for 50 years, so
Yeah,
we're going to keep
yeah.
doing it. And it's like, it's only worked for 50 because you've done nothing
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, yeah. But we listen. Let's
That's
not
a
get-
different-
Yeah,
that's
we're
a
not going to be
different
angry today.
podcast, yeah.
Come on, I cannot.
I could go on and on.
I've
so-
been no. After I had Ava, I was so crazy. Like I was so crazy, angry at like men and the whole world about men. And now I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. Like it doesn't you like it. The only thing I can do is make sure I change it in my world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can only make the difference. Talking about it. is not gonna change
I
it.
think as well, like even if you have, because I know it's like for the industry rule as well, it's either 80-20 or 70-30 in terms of like percentage of men and women in
Yeah.
media. And like even if, let's pretend that tomorrow sexism didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was completely evaporated, completely gone. There was no sexist. Everyone was completely equal. You'd still be like decades behind. Like,
Yeah.
you're just still behind.
Yeah.
You still have to catch up,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of...
Oh, we're getting there for sure. We're getting there, and Greta Gerwig is one of those spearheading the industry for sure. Like I think just the more good female directors, the more and producers, the more the industry will change.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was thinking about? A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. It's such a good film.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
That's... Who directs that as well? Is it...
See, I never used to know directors as much back then. You know, you'd just be like, whoa.
I have so many names in my head that it could be that I'm probably wrong.
Alexa, who directed A Beautiful Mind?
A Beautiful Mind was directed by Ron Howard.
Oh, it was Ron
Okay.
Howard.
Won
Oh, that
4
makes sense.
Academy Awards.
Yeah, Ron Howard's great.
A Beautiful Mind is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think I need to watch it again recently.
And Ron Howard is the narrator for Arrested Development.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice little
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, I think he like worked one office away from when they were doing the voiceover.
Oh.
I can do it.
Oh,
For the first episode, and then they're like, can we just keep you? And I was like, yeah, okay.
nice. Nice. Okay, let's call it there then.
Yeah,
Okay. Well done, buddy.
that was nice.